All right, guys. Good morning. Another episode of Good Stuff. This is April 1st. We've kind of charted into new territory with a new month. So we have Dan on the line, Eric, Zach, Brian, and myself, James. So let's kind of just dive right into the questions, guys. Let me pull this up here for us. Okay, so this is kind of just a reoccurring question that we see. And I think it just comes from this being so complex of an issue. But question is, what is the fastest way to get some financial help? Who wants to tackle that one?
The fastest way would be to go to grandma and grandpa and ask for some money.
Yeah, get
Right.
some cash.
If you want to answer that question directly. If you're talking about government?
Government, yeah, both.
Yeah. I mean, fastest way is going to be, whatever your own personal resources are, whether it's your own bank accounts, your own savings, if you don't have any, friends, family, or, I've seen a lot of GoFundMe type things come up for all kinds of businesses in different industries. Not necessarily saying that's the best way, right? Fastest way.
The fastest
Yeah.
way is to have a discussion with your accounts payable and get them to reduce any type of expense for you. So without getting cash, the fastest way is to reduce expenses, have that conversation. And then I think a lot of people are going to want to know what's the quickest way to get funds into their account via government or banking. So do we know timelines on the PPP or unemployment, which is going to be determined by the state and their load, I'm guessing? Does anybody have any experience with that?
I think this is all such a fast moving target. No one has any definitive, no one's gotten any money yet, as far as I know.
So there's no turnaround time.
Yeah. I will say this, piggybacking on what Zach said, I think it's a super important concept that my business mentor dropped on us. It's never waste a good crisis. I think I'd never heard that before. And he's basically like, in this moment, everybody understands everyone's going through a lot of pain, and everyone also wants to just get paid whatever they can. So you can leverage that. This is the whole going to your landlord and asking to pay back,
defer,
add to your, defer on your lease or cut it down for a couple months or whatever. It's like, use this crisis to cut your costs right now in every way you can.
Right. Absolutely. That's the fastest way to get financial relief. I think the best strategy for this right now is having as many, what's the saying, stokers in the fire as possible. So start on the PPP, get unemployment going, talk to your landlord, talk about the expenses, do as many different things as you can.
Yep.
Right. Attack it from all angles, not just rely on one. And then if your application is kicked back, you just wasted 3 weeks.
That's going to have the greatest, probably the quickest and greatest cumulative effect. Would we agree?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, if you want to talk about things you can control, it's going to be your expenses. So you're going to have direct impact on that. Right. And then trying to negotiate to lower expenses will be kind of in your control. And then the government seems like it's going to be a good bet, but all odds are off right now. We don't know.
Right.
It could be great. Might not ever happen. So,
or not as much as you think.
We've
been focusing a lot on the government side. Do we have any resources for people to be able to kind of take a look at their expenses, or just kind of an idea of a rundown of possible ways that we can at least spotlight what the expenses are and evaluate if it's necessary, or if we can defer some of it? Because I know, from just my own expenses, there's a lot of expenses that are just on reoccurring that I have no idea until I take a deep look at my bank statement, which doesn't happen all that often as much as it should. But if we can come up with some kind of list just to highlight that and bring eyeballs to it, I think that might help out.
So there's a couple ways to do this. Yeah, one would be analyzing your bank statement. Brian, I know he knows this the best, and I know he's not a fan of these things, but maybe this is the moment it's worth it. But there are software systems that can analyze your spend and kind of tell you like, oh, there's this recurring charge it looks like you forgot about, or things like that. Brian, do you not recommend that still, or what's your feelings?
No, I mean, any tool right now to help you through this is a good thing. But I mean, obviously you should be on top of everything. Really going through your statements is the easiest. Going back to what Zach was saying, like the biggest expense is going to be your rent or mortgage. A lot of banks and folks that are holding your mortgage are actually proactively reaching out. If they aren't, you need to be proactive about trying to get some sort of relief in regards to the payments for those. Because any payments that are not coming in, you definitely want to reduce the payments that are going out. And rent, mortgage is going to be the biggest. That really start there first.
Cool. There was a comment, or there was a question along these same lines. Are there affiliate owners or gym owners that have not been financially impacted at all? Like literally, they're still at 100% revenue. Are they authorized any participation in this, or do you have to be able to show financial impact? The reason I ask is it was brought up yesterday on one of the threads of someone retaining still 100% of their members. Everyone's billing, no complaints, no nothing. They're providing great service. So they're just carry on as business as usual, I guess, correct? They're not able to show financial hardship.
I don't think, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think either the EIDL or the PPP loan programs have anything to do with hardship.
I know, and it's surprising because really the whole intent of these programs was to help and prop up the economy and make sure everybody is getting paid and not laid off. So I think that in these times, if you can apply for it, which in this case, if you're a gym owner that is doing well and maybe even flourishing in this environment, still do it. These are programs that have no recourse really on them. And if you don't use it and you think you don't ever want to use it, you still should apply, and you can give it back
early
in a day. Yeah. But if not, it'll help your business, then, just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, go ahead, Zach. Sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, and just to add a point there, just because a business hasn't taken a loss doesn't mean they're not growing, and every business depends on the ability to grow. And so even though you may have retained 100% of your membership, I almost guarantee you that you're probably not growing. So it's not that you have taken a negative, it's that you just aren't getting the same forward movement that you normally would because of the pandemic. So I agree with Brian. Take advantage of the situation and get a leg up. If anything, everybody's been hurt on some level. Yeah. So
and to Zach's point, all of us, we've only been in this really for 2 or 3 weeks at least.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you never know. You never know what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, it's way premature to say I haven't been impacted yet because we're not in June yet, So get ahead of it.
Yeah, lots of good advice there, guys. Cool. We got a few more minutes. I think we can take one more question. This one's pretty good. We got to our Facebook group. Since most of us have gone totally online and virtual, how are you handling members that choose to put their memberships on hold? Let's see. Are you removing them from your email updates? Conversely, how do we offer a value that's only accessible to a paying member? So there's a lot to this question, I think. Who wants to start?
I think it's kind of a if this then that, and so let's just start there. So if you're acknowledging a financial hardship for your client, you say, yeah, we'll put you on hold. So they're just not paying for your service, and if your service at this point is online, then they're just not paying for your online service. They're still part of your community. You expect that they will come back when this thing solves. So maybe, because it would be unfair to say, these 100 people are paying and they get my service. You are not going to pay. You don't get the service, but let me just give it to you for free. That'd be unfair. So, but you can't leave them out you can't leave them. You can't just be like, well, in time of hardship, you've left me, so I'm going to leave you. I wouldn't shop them from the email list. I wouldn't shop them from the daily communications. I wouldn't shop them from the text and all like the social component, all the extra free fun stuff. They absolutely need to be engaged and maintained because you want them back in 1 month or 3 months or 2 months or whatever. But maybe they would just not get your digital service, your training service. I guess the only way I would say they would is if you've offered free to family and friends. Because if you're one of the affiliates that said free kids program, bring your friends, free training for your family and friends. If you're offering free across the board and they cancel the membership, they're not paying you, but they're a friend of your member. Now they're getting your service for free. And you might see them in your 5 o'clock class.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of gray area here, and you just have to be, in tune with each member understand what they need, what their hardships are, see where you can extend help, but still understand what your value is, right?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, if you take the hard line of saying anyone that's not paying for my service doesn't get my digital service, then you have to go above and beyond to maintain the relationship or extend the relationship to them. Because I think the last question, let me go back over to your slide. How do you offer value? Oh, sorry, it was only to those accessible to the paying member. Well, the paying members, they're paying for your service. And whether you're doing a group environment, a one-on-one environment, an individual environment, whatever, they're paying for that service. If they're not paying for the service, they're still part of your family, right? They were yesterday and you want them back in 30 more days. So they go to a separate list. So maybe you have 100 members and then you have 10 that have quit. Those 10 that quit, it's almost going to go above and beyond to keep them engaged because you don't want them distancing themselves. There could be guilt. There could be shame. There could be a whole bunch of embarrassment. Like, oh shit, I just lost my job and I don't want to do this. And I love your gym, but I'm not making money. So I got to quit.
I think the key, I totally agree with what Eric's saying. And I think the key to it is just communicating come up with a plan and communicate it. So just say like, hey man, like when people quit, like I'm going to leave you in the members group. We're going to leave you as part of this thing. You're not going to get access to this part of things, but that's cool. Right. And we really hope that you come back when this is all over, and we understand everyone's going through hardships, but we're going to do everything we can to support you for as long as this lasts, to just build that goodwill between you and them.
Totally.
So hopefully they come back and maybe bring a friend when this is all over. I think that's something people are forgetting is like, if you're helping people during this crisis, they might come back with four more people when it's all over,
Absolutely. Yeah. You do a favor for them, they'll do a favor for you, and not on purpose, just because they feel gratitude.
Yeah. The gesture goes a long way.
Yeah. So I would say, like, you just make it clear, like, when this is all over, we might purge the member group, but for now you're still a member in my eyes. You're still family. Like I'm here to support you in every way I can. I just can't give you this Zoom access or something or whatever it might be. Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Totally agree.
Awesome, guys. Let's wrap it up for today. So again, for those of you guys tuning in, if you have any questions, hotline is 833-GYM-WINS, or just reach out to us. All of our information is out online, Facebook group, Gym Survival group. We're all really visible there. So if you want to just send a direct message to any one of us, we're all ears. All right, guys. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow, next episode of Good Stuff. See you later.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.